Welcome everyone to the very last episode for 2012 of Senior Living. Hope everyone is well into the holiday spirit, and I think I'll go out on a little bit of a limb and say that if we're watching this, the Mayans just got sidetracked and didn't finish their calendar. There was no real reason for it. We do hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season, and we have got a few very special guests to talk about some other things that are happening throughout the holiday season, some things that you need to think about. It is my honor to introduce some very special guests today. One of the organizations throughout the Yavapai County in both Prescott, Cottonwood, that does an awful lot for the folks in the county is Helping Hands, and I think more correctly it's Prescott Helping Hands. Is that the correct name of it? And we are joined today by some guests from that organization. Carolyn Baysinger, she's a DTA lead, and we also have some very special artist guests that we're going to introduce and tell you a little bit about what's going on. We have Jack, Karen, and Allie, and they are going to kind of tell us about this really special project. Carolyn, what is, first of all, just a little bit more about what Helping Hands does?
We work through DDD, which is the Department of Developmental Disabilities, to introduce these folks with independent living skills. We take them out in the community and do fun stuff. We teach them shopping, you know, everything that, you know, people do in their everyday lives.
Right.
We help introduce them into that.
Excellent. I know that these three are very integrated into the community. There's a lot of activity going on. One of the things that happens, though, is while there is some funding, and there's obviously a certain amount of expenses that you incur in doing all of this, so there has to be some additional ways to help fund that.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. You want to tell us about it?
Well, we're trying to do fundraising. One of the hugest things I like to do right now is art. And it's actually really inexpensive to do, so we're trying to do paintings and other types of art to be able to sell to, you know, fund more elaborate outings, like, you know, go to a zoo or stuff like that we haven't been able to do in a while because our funding's really low. So
right, I understand that it's really difficult sometimes. In the past, I think one of the guys that works here is very involved with your organization, and John Herring mentioned different events like baseball games or being able to take them out to do some things like that. And I know that it's difficult for any of us. So if we all pull together a little bit, and some of these art projects look like they could definitely be worth a few bucks, I would say.
They come out really amazing.
They sure do.
Really enjoy it.
This one, I'm going to hold this up here. This is, I believe, done by our very own Karen.
It's a group.
Is this a
Everyone
group?
Worked on it. Yeah.
Really?
Everybody did different parts of it.
Excellent.
Allie did a lot of the flowers and.
Good job, Allie.
What part did you? Magazine. And she drew it.
We drew it, and then they painted it.
That's awesome. So is this available? How would, if somebody wanted to purchase this to donate to the efforts, how would they purchase this?
You can just call Casey Gilmore at our office number, which
the number's been on the screen, and the website is also there.
So if you,
there. Right.
That would be, you know, the best way to go about it. Just donations.
Okay.
So.
All right. Is there a location where people can just come in and look around and see, or
we're trying? We just recently moved our building, so we're trying to get them up on the walls. So we're going through and placing them. We have a few up, which we took pictures of, and we could, you know, stop by there, and maybe we're gonna post them on our website, which would be nice.
I know we had a few pictures of some of the larger pieces, and you've got a couple more here. Let's take a look at those. Jack, have you done some of these paintings, or are you into different kinds of art?
Let's see.
What color do you do on these, Jack? What color are you famous for?
What's your color?
Blue.
Blue. See the sign? Blue.
Oh, blue, yeah.
Most of the blue on every painting is Jack's. That's his favorite color. Occasionally we get him to do green, you know, branch out, but most of the blue.
The blue is definitely a vivid blue. There's no doubt about that.
The blue on here, Jack did.
That is very, very nice. Ellie, can you introduce your friend that you've got with you? Who's that?
Is that Gaby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Gaby? Does Gaby help?
Yeah.
Good.
Gaby does everything Ellie does.
And do you like to do art, Ellie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like the spray ones the best, huh?
Yeah.
These are actually done with spray bottles.
Oh, how
You
fun.
stand back and spray them. It's fun, huh?
Yeah.
Well, this is an incredible opportunity, not only for our community to help pitch in and offer some valuable dollars to help make some more field trips, some more efforts possible. We really enjoy the fact that everything is so bright and everybody seems so thrilled to be doing it, and that's really, really exciting. And I want to thank all of you for making the effort, coming down here and sharing this with us, because our communities can't survive without organizations like yours, and we really appreciate the effort. We appreciate all of your efforts, and thank you so much. Hope to see you again. We'll try to catch up on some more of the new projects as they come along, and touch base with all of you. We will take a short break and check in with our sponsors. We'll be back in a moment.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers. This first pitch is fouled to back to
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Hi, I'm Captain Larry Dawson with the Cottonwood Fire Department, here to talk to you about cooking safety in your home. When cooking with oil, make sure you have the proper size lid and an oven mitt nearby. If the oil does catch fire, cover the pan with the lid while wearing an oven mitt. Turn off the burner. Never throw water or baking soda on a grease fire. Never leave an open flame unattended, and always have a working fire extinguisher nearby.
Welcome back to Senior Living. We are visiting with we're visiting with Carolyn Baysinger with Helping Hands, and we are also visiting with a few of the members of the Helping Hands community. And I wanted to talk a little bit more. First of all, just for all of you, we want to find out a little bit more about each of you. So think about the one thing that you would want our audience, our television audience, to know about you. Karen, can I start with you? Tell us a little bit more about what's your favorite thing to do?
Well,
You were just telling me that you were glad to be doing this because you needed to do this. Tell me about that.
I found out through a couple of friends of mine. I met at Special Olympics, and one I actually met at summer camp. And they're global messengers, and they take all these classes and over and over and over again. And each time they could take something new. And I joined them, and one of them was public speaking.
Well, now you have spoken, not only spoken, but you have been on television, so that should...
So, you know, if I get a mentor, I can tell he or she that I got a chance to do it finally.
There you
John
go.
Herring was supposed to set it up, but
There
you know,
you go.
it didn't happen with him. But you know, I'm glad I got to meet you and
Me too,
everyone
thank
here.
you.
And
Okay, Ellie, where did you meet Gaby? How did you and Gaby get together? Yeah? Okay.
You've always had Gaby, huh?
yeah.
Yeah, you guys are buddies.
That's very awesome. Jack, I understand you're a musician and keyboard. Favorite song? Do you have one?
For me, there is always more than one.
More than one?
And one of them is House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good one.
House of the Rising Sun is a great one.
Jack's learning how to play by ear. We just did a Christmas concert. He's really amazing, really in tune.
That's
really
great.
good.
Now, do your community, do you offer classes like that? Do you offer things that you teach them, or is it mostly?
We throughout the day, like we've had music. We do music. We do art. We do community living stuff. A lot of them is through DDD, which doesn't exactly run through the DTA program.
Right.
But Jack has a music therapist. Karen just got introduced to a music therapist. And they did come to DTA and do a concert, and it was really amazing.
Good.
But through us, it's a lot of art and music and independent living and going places that otherwise they probably wouldn't get to go, especially as a group of like-minded people.
Right. It is a great opportunity. And you mentioned that you had just moved into a new office. Where's that located? Just in case, I want to send people to check out this artwork. I think it's important.
280 on Main Street.
280 Main Street, which is over by, is it close to Mingus?
It's in between Mingus. Okay. It's by the Acme Pizzeria.
Okay, all right.
And Casey's Taekwondo. We're right next to Casey's Taekwondo.
Okay, I did,
so it's Sweet F.
Easy place to go check out some of the artwork that's up on the walls. These folks really deserve all the opportunities that they can get in terms of being able to not only take advantage of some of the therapy and the classes and the ability to work through things that they can get, but just to have some fun and just go experience some things that sometimes aren't very possible without a little bit of help. I also wanted to mention that in addition to the folks that you're already helping, is there a process? Do you still take on new members to the crew? Okay.
Yeah.
And do they just contact you and?
Yeah, they can contact us through Helping Hands and
there is an office in Prescott, right?
Our main office is in Prescott, but there was such a need here that we have an office here.
Okay, so Prescott Cottonwood. The Cottonwood number has been on the screen. The website is for all of it. Please, please, please take advantage. There's lots of art to buy, but also let me just ask one more question. Does Helping Hands utilize volunteers?
I'm actually not sure about volunteers.
All right. If you think that you might want to help out and maybe purchasing art isn't what fits into your lifestyle, then maybe there's a possibility that Helping Hands may be open to some other kind of volunteer help and or donations and or helping out members. So again, remind everybody, check it out. Got any last minute gifts? There's still time to stop by the Helping Hands office here in Cottonwood and pick up some art for the walls to give to your friends and help a community that's helping us all at the same time. Carolyn, thank you so much for being here. Karen, Ellie, Jack, it's been great. And again, like I say, we'll have you back in to see what's going on later down the road. Wish you all the best, and I hope that maybe someday we're going to see one of you guys or all of you guys names up in lights, famous artists and musicians, I'm going to bet. We will take another really quick break, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Ben Bueller, owner and funeral director at Bueller Funeral Homes. My grandfather once told me, you can serve a family selfishly once, or treat them right and serve that family for generations.
Bueller Funeral Home has been serving Arizona families for 3 generations with affordable and reasonable services. Bueller Funeral Home feels a funeral should be as unique and personal as the individual it honors, whatever your choices, your traditions, or your budget.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us. I don't know if we can top that last segment or not. Those folks and all the efforts that they make are unbelievable. We are, however, going to attempt it. And one of the things that I sort of tumbled across, I usually try not to let things get to me too much. What's going to happen is going to happen. And I make every effort to deal with things in that manner. All of the best laid plans, however, don't always come to fruition, and sometimes the holidays in particular can create a great deal of stress. Our next guest has some great insights on dealing with that stress, and it's really important for us, I think, so that we can truly enjoy, whether it's the spirit of the season, whether it's the time with family and friends, whatever is highest on your priority list to keep yourself free to be able to enjoy that. Dr. Marta Adelsman, thank you so much for joining us.
You're welcome, Pam.
Been reading your articles in the newspaper for quite some time now, and it's a pleasure to be able to meet you in person, and in particular to have you help us get through a little bit of the holiday season without all of that stress and strain. I love the holidays. It's my favorite time of year. And I truly do just try to enjoy whatever happens to come along. But I do know that as you're thinking about the cooking and the baking and the shopping and the whatever, you can get caught up in it. Mm-hmm. And then it becomes not fun. It's just a chore. Yeah. You have, I've read a great definition of holiday stress. And let's just jump right in and talk about that a little bit.
Well, basically the way that I think about it is that it's and I wrote it down here, hurry, worry, and pressure that results from the mind's interpretation of how events and people and circumstances should be during the holidays. And then attaching a lot of meaning to that believing that that's true.
Right. Sometimes the perception is more real than the reality, and if you believe something that needs to be a certain way, it becomes an issue.
It's like how we interpret the events of the season is basically how we then experience them. You know.
Your training and your experience has you are a doctor in professional psychology, and then you became a life coach, and that took additional training. Plus, like I say, I've been reading your articles for years, so the experience that you've gained, you are a Verde Valley resident and have been for a long time, so that you can kind of understand. So put it into practical play for us. We have lots of large families here in the Verde Valley, so the extended holiday thing becomes a big part of it. When dealing with stress, I know the key word that you used was the way things should be. Thinking along those lines, what's the first thing that you would recommend?
Well, I think the first thing is to really become conscious and aware of our shoulds. If we can name them and know that that's what our mind is doing to us, then we can begin to question, wow, is that really true? Is it that my son should be here every night not seeing his friends? Is it true that My husband should be helping more with putting up decorations. You know, are all of these things true? Is it true that I have to buy gifts for thousands of people? And when we really begin to question those shoulds, then we can begin to put it a little bit more into perspective and shift the shoulds.
One thing that I've noticed, and I know that you mentioned it, I've seen it in your article, some of the emotional strains and stresses of the season can actually manifest into a physical situation, and that we definitely don't want to have that. But there's so much demand sometimes that your body just kind of tells you, whoa, stop.
Yeah, yeah. So I think physically, and I've had a lot of opportunity to put this into practice because right after I wrote that column for that came out this month, the stress really hit for me. So I'm learning to deal with it by slowing down. I move fast, and my mind is constantly rushing ahead to the next thing, thing. What is the next thing I have to do? And then I'm not present to what I'm doing now. So slowing down, becoming absolutely present to what the task is at hand. And then I every morning I'm just taking time to sit quietly and breathe and get into a really quiet inner stillness. And that just then helps throughout the whole day, basically. And, you know, doing things that, you know, relax your body. I mean, different people have different things. For some it might be taking walks, and for some people it might be taking hot baths. And so,
well, I think you've hit on a few good points. Being able to, whether you want to call it a distraction or a tool, and it's both, I'm sure, but finding something that totally takes you away from the day-to-day things you're dealing with, and that's true at any time of the year, not just the holiday season, but something that totally takes you away from that really gives you an opportunity to recharge and be able to deal with it a little bit better. Yeah. And you mentioned you like horseback riding and Zumba, and there are a lot of different kinds of things. And sometimes we don't think that my curling up in the corner and reading a book, even if it's only for 10 minutes, can make all the difference in the world for the rest of my day.
Yes.
And people need to realize that.
Yeah. As long as your mind is focused on the book.
Yeah, okay.
And my mind is focused on the horse.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, and okay, guilty sometimes that it's not totally focused. But it's interesting too. Like I say, I did read the article, and it was timely because we had already talked. But I thought that it was it's kind of fun to think that everybody, we're all human. You admitted to feeling a little bit of the stress. It's not a bad thing. It just exists. And I think that possibly learning to identify the fact that it exists is probably one of the biggest tools you can use.
Yes.
Now, one of the things that you had, this was really important to me. The listening and communication tools that you teach aren't techniques. They contain within them the seeds for profound relational and personal growth when applied consistently. What a great way to look at it, because you tend to think, oop, I need to practice this, oop, I need to do this. Whereas if you learn to just let it be part of you, it becomes a lot easier to deal with. You don't have to force yourself to deal with those kinds of issues, the stress, the communication, the dealing with everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So tell us a little bit more. You are here locally, and one of our viewers is having a worse time than normal dealing with stress. Do you counsel people? Are you available for?
I am.
Okay. And I think that that's important to remember. Dr. Marta's information has been on the screen if you have any questions about holiday stress. But be in tune with that, and if you feel that someone may be of assistance, go looking for a few resources and seek that out. It's important for us to learn how to deal with that. I've had, again, I have a great time during the holiday season, and I'm not a cook, I'm not a shopper, but just shopping and cooking for the family and everything is fun this time of year, and I don't know how to explain that other than It just is. There's no reason for it. And a lot of my friends are saying, "Oh, I just didn't have time to put up my Christmas. I didn't do any outside decorating." So
let it go. Let it go. It's perfectly fine. Where we get into trouble is when we are at odds with the way things are, and where we fight against that, and we set up this inner resistance to it. So
yeah, I certainly appreciate your insights a lot. And as I said, I want to remind you that if you're having a really difficult time this holiday season, and don't misunderstand, there are lots of very valid reasons that the holidays become difficult, not just the demands on your time, but the financial demands sometimes, and there's just a lot of potential stressors that can exist.
The relational demands with a lot of extra family around, and getting into some of the, stuff that can go on between family members.
Yeah, pay attention and don't ignore it. If you know you're not dealing with it well, get some help. It's out there, and just even going for a walk and talking to a friend, if that's what it takes, then please feel free to do it. Dr. Marta, thank you so much.
Thank you, Pam.
And
it's been my pleasure.
I've got a couple other ideas brewing here. I'll have to have you back in to talk about some other topics.
Great.
In the meantime, we are going to visit with our sponsors, and we will be right back after this short break.
My mom's a hardcore enabler. I first realized it when she said we should have a party at our house.
Have fun tonight? You ready?
She even got my dad to say
Just
okay.
lighten up a little bit.
She's so hooked on enabling that my friends think she's their buddy. She doesn't care. Why should I?
Enabling is a drug. Get help. The partnership at drugfree.org.
Hi, I'm Captain Larry Dawson with the Cottonwood Fire Department, here to talk to you about cooking safety in your home. The #1 cause of house fires today is lack of safety in the kitchen. Always set a timer while you're cooking. If a fire starts in your oven, close the door and turn the oven off. When kids are present while cooking, always use the back burners and keep handles turned in and out of reach of children. Never leave an open flame unattended, and always have a working fire extinguisher nearby.
Welcome back. Thanks for being here. We've talked an awful lot about the holiday season, but there's a lot more going on, and some things are right around the corner, as is the first of the year, and we've got all of the things that 2013 brings us, including the 2013 Sedona Marathon, and it is truly right around the corner, just a little over a month away. Kegn Hall with the Sedona Chamber, and the Sedona Chamber is the Sedona Marathon for the most part.
Yes, yeah, we bought it in 2011 to keep an economic stabilizer event going, and so it's 8th year in a row that we've had the Sedona Marathon.
8th annual Sedona Marathon. That's incredible. That is just incredible. The first thing I do want to mention, and I'm not asking you for a list, but if you, I know that there are a lot of sponsors that help get the marathon help the marathon continue. And I do want to just mention a few of those, if you know, if you've got a few that you want to mention off the top of your head.
Yeah, I'll go with the top 5.
Okay.
The ones that help us the most, Pink Jeep Tours, of course, Tlaquepaque, Amara Resort and Spa, and Oak Creek Brewery, and then the Best Western Arroyo Roble Hotel.
Okay. And I do know that it takes all of those sponsors to help make an event like this successful. One of the ladies here in our office, she and I, we did the 5K last year. We didn't run, but
you walked.
We walked and we did it, and it was
great option.
It was such a awesome day and a great event, and it was really, really amazing Do you happen to know about how many participants there were last year?
Last year there was 2,000. This year we're hoping for about 2,500. So we're upping the ante a little bit, just trying to get more visitors and locals coming to Sedona in the Verde Valley in what normally would be a little bit of a slow time.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit of a slow time, although I'm not sure why, but that definitely gives us something to go on. The registration is still going on. You can still register.
Yes, it's going on all the way until, what was it, January 29th.
Okay.
It closes for one day, and then we can register you on the actual day of the marathon as well.
Right.
But if you register before December 31st, you'll be entered to win a really wonderful prize package with the Sedona International Film Festival. They're giving away 2 gold passes that are worth $950.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's an amazing gift, and you have unlimited access to all the movies you want. It's a really valued prize. So we're trying to really drive people to participate and register before December 31st.
I am going to say, if you are even considering entering for the marathon, you better do it right now, because that would be a great prize to win.
It's worth it by far.
And the odds are better than the lottery right now.
Yes, a lot better. You can definitely say that.
I think that would be awesome. Some ideas on the schedule. I know that the marathon starts off at like 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, February.
It's actually starting off on February 2nd, 2013. It starts at 9 a.m.
Okay, the shuttles start at 6.
Yeah, the shuttles start at 6 in the morning. There's a ton of free shuttles that pick up all over Sedona. They're free, and they pick up every 15 minutes. So we're guaranteeing wherever you're at in Sedona or this area, you're going to be able to get to the course on time for your race.
Okay, and I think I should have stepped back a little bit. The marathon is Saturday, February 2nd.
Yes.
There are some training runs that are going on in January.
Yes, there's 3 free training runs on the 5th, the 12th, and the 19th. So each Saturday leading up to the marathon, they start at 8 in the morning at the finish line area, and there'll be aid stations, so nutrition and food and water. There'll also be mile markers where the actual course will be taking place, and they'll have support crew on
for every Saturday, the month ahead of time.
Every Saturday, yep.
Wow.
The 3 Saturdays before the marathon, and they're free. So even if you're not registered for the event and you think you want to maybe run or walk or whatever you want to do, you can go experience the course, get a feel for it, the hills and the elevation. It's a really great opportunity.
Excellent. Thursday, January 31st, the Thursday before the marathon, Sedona Film Festival.
Yes, they're showing a movie. They always show a very inspirational movie every time, and all the participants are welcome.
Great. And then packet pickup on Friday.
Yep, packet pickup. That'll be at Tlaquepaque, and there's going to be music and fun, raffle tickets. It's a really great event.
I did that last year too, and it was a lot of fun.
Good.
I think the weather was a little breezy and damp. I think it was a little bit cold, but it was sure crowded, and it was a great event.
Yeah, it'll be just as fun this year for sure.
If there was one particular point that you wanted to make about the marathon or about the Sedona Chamber, the event in whole, what would it be?
This event just over time has really proven to be a fun, safe, and successful event. It brings in it's a big economic impact on the whole entire Verde Valley. Last year we had around 400 volunteers. Right now we're at about 200 volunteers. So we still need volunteers.
Shout out for volunteers.
Shout out for volunteers. I mean, if you want to be behind the scenes or set up or right in the heart-pounding action, there's a place for a volunteer in every position. That's just sedonamarathon.com, and you can choose anything you like. But it's a really great opportunity for, all ages, all walks of life. I think last year the youngest child we had was 3 years old, and the oldest was 84. So you can run or walk with your friends and family and just have a ball. Yeah, it really was fun. And I have to say it, and everybody says it and hears it, but you can't say it enough. What a beautiful, beautiful venue to be able to and I don't run, I do walk. But either way, it's just absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, all 4 races are just a guaranteed beautiful view surrounding the entire course. Right. It's a really breathtaking moment.
It is holiday season, and everybody's probably, I shouldn't say everybody, most of us are not being as careful as we normally would be, but do you have any hints for people that are thinking about doing the marathon? Obviously, start working out a little bit. Do you have any?
Some training tips? Yeah. I mean, working out is essential. Even if you're going to walk the 5K, which is about 3 miles, you need to, start getting a feel for the lay of the land and go up and down some hills just to prepare yourself a little bit more. Even if you just go on a morning stroll with friends twice a week, you'll be prepared.
Very good. I think that the two key things about the Sedona Marathon that we need to remember, it is an incredible event right here in the Verde Valley, and it brings a lot of people in, and a lot of people get to enjoy our beautiful weather, our beautiful views, the beautiful scenery, and they get to spend some money. And I think that that is really important for us to remember. Sometimes when we think of tourists, sometimes there's a little, oh my gosh, it's full of tourists. Oh my gosh, it's full of tourists. But we need to remember what that brings to us and why we do that. Not to mention that even if we didn't stage the Sedona Marathon, it's a pretty beautiful place for people to come visit anyway.
Yeah.
But
yeah, just a four-season playground pretty much. I mean, the fact that we're having a race going right through Coconino County, a beautiful national forest, just helps the area gain that much more exposure. And it's a great event because it brings the locals who run here and throughout the whole entire Verde Valley and Phoenix Valley, and then a lot of people from out of country come here as well just to experience this marathon.
I was watching that last year on the registrations. The people from out of the country even it was pretty unbelievable.
It's amazing. Yeah, we had participants from 8 countries last year, a ton from Japan and Canada, of course, but also from Afghanistan and Mexico. I mean, all over the world, people are coming here for this destination marathon.
Yep. So join your neighbors, come meet your friends, and meet somebody from across the world, and have a great time. Sedona Marathon, Saturday, February 3rd. Second. Saturday, February 2nd. Buses start running at 6 a.m. The SedonaMarathon.com website has all of the vital information. Call the Sedona Chamber, and you can talk to any one of the folks there at the Sedona Chamber. Stick around. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with you.
Hi, I'm Ben Bueller, owner and funeral director at Bueller Funeral Homes. My grandfather once told me, you can serve a family selfishly once, or treat them right and serve that family for generations.
Bueller Funeral Home has been serving Arizona families for 3 generations with affordable and reasonable services. Bueller Funeral Home feels a funeral should be as unique and personal as the individual it honors, whatever your choices, your traditions, or your budget.
Having a fire escape plan is very important to keep your family safe and together in the event of a fire. When you awake to the sound of a smoke detector and smoke in your room, don't stand straight up. Carefully roll off your bed and stay low under the smoke. If your door is shut, feel the door with the back of your hand. Slowly open the door if no heat is felt. Always stay low until you get to the outside of your home. Always have 2 ways out of your house and a specified meeting place somewhere outside your home. Home escape plans should be drawn up and rehearsed on a regular basis. This could be the difference between life and death if caught in a fire.
Welcome back, and we are joined now by a couple of ladies, one of whom I've known for a really long time. Well, yeah, a pretty long time.
A while.
And one I've had the pleasure of meeting today, but both of them are with something very near and dear to my heart, as it is, I'm sure, to many of you. We have had the awesome opportunity to visit with a couple of the historical societies throughout the valley. And today we get to be introduced to the Cornville Historical Society. Judy Miller and Linda Allen Capel, am I saying it correctly?
Yeah,
okay, thank you. With the Cornville Historical Society. Ladies, thank you for joining us today. One of the thing that caught my eye initially, of course, was your most recent huge efforts of bringing the old, the historical, 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 the historical post office back to Cornville. I know there's a lot more that you do, so I want to just briefly, and I'll defer to whichever one of you would like to just explain a little of the history of the Cornville Historical Society, how long you've been operating.
Well, it was actually incorporated in 2004, and then we had our first meeting in February of 2005, and then 2006 was an annual meeting, and then it kind of really got rolling after that.
Okay.
2007, 8, 9, lots of different activities and things that we've been doing.
I know there have been quite a few people that have been involved over the years, and you've had a lot of help, but one thing that's true of any organization like this is you always need so much more help. It just
that's true.
Yeah, there always seems like there's more to do than there are people that can do it. Although, as I mentioned, I think that Cornville in particular, I shouldn't say it that way. Cornville has had a lot of people that have really stepped up and helped out quite a bit, and I think the story of the post office is a good example. So we know that recently the post office was moved from a spot where it was just simply parked,
abandoned,
and brought back. So thumbnail sketch of exactly what happened with the post office. It started in what,
well, over the past several years, it was moved away from Cornville in the late 80s.
Okay.
And over the last several years, there's been other opportunities for the community to bring it back. But each time they looked at it, they said, "Oh gosh, it's too much work," you know. But this spring, the ownership of the land changed where the building was sitting, and he was willing to give it to us. So that's when things started to move, and with the help of Chip Davis at the county supervisor's office, we got a good bid, and descendants of the Chick family, Charles Chick is the guy who built the post office in 1909, but his family members stepped up to the plate and gave us nice donations to get us started. So since May, we entered into a legal agreement with Bob Snyder. That's the other piece of it. We had to have a local landowner willing.
Right.
And Bob Snyder from Windmill Gardens said, "I'll take it." I about fell off my chair when he called me that night to say that. But since then, we've been able to work it out, and thank goodness it's moved.
Now, in relationship to Windmill Gardens, where exactly was the original 1909 post office located?
As much as we know, it was right about where it's now sitting.
That's what I thought.
It might have been a little bit further west. It's right facing the junction with Loy Road, but it was right by that ditch, right on that same parcel of ground.
When it was first built, it started out on that north side of the Cornville Road.
Yes.
And then it was moved to the south side for years, correct?
Yes, many years.
Yeah. And so it got to go truly back home. I think that's a really exciting story. And that is probably, getting the post office back into Cornville is probably one of the ultimate objectives that's been reached by the Historical Society. But there are many, many other things that you've accomplished throughout the last, 8 years since you formed. And I know that along with the Cornville Community Association, I mean, there's been a lot of things accomplished because of your efforts. Bits and pieces of history. The whole history of the post office has been chronicled in a report, I understand.
Yes, we have that document. Yes.
All of this happens because of two things. One, primarily, is volunteers and members of the society that jump in it with both feet and take responsibility for getting some of these things done. And the other thing, of course, is that you have to have a few bucks. It wasn't, as much as people volunteered and helped, moving that post office from where it was located over off the 260 back over to Cornville was not an inexpensive process. So some of the fundraising efforts, as you mentioned, thanks to the Chick family, the donations got started, but then other businesses and members of the Cornville community have stepped up too.
Yes, we set a goal to raise $10,000 to get the move accomplished with a little extra money to spare, and we're up past 8,000 now. So we felt good about that.
Right.
And we do other fundraisers so that we've built up our own operating treasury through our gift raffles. Every year we do the gift basket raffle, which it's been very successful for us each year.
That's fun.
So those are things that have all helped, you know, to put us in a position where we feel comfortable with this project.
Because the move has been accomplished, but renovating the front part of it a little bit and maintaining it for forever.
Yes.
Forever, while it stays there.
Yes, that's
you know,
right.
That'll all take a little bit of expense.
We'll keep going with our fundraising. That's for sure.
Yeah.
What other projects do you have on? Do you have something on the burner? Is there something ready to go, or you're focusing still on the post office?
Well, we're always trying to do oral histories of people who've been in the valley a long time so that we can get their family story and their history. And we're also doing site inventories of historical sites, you know, different ranches and buildings and grave sites and different things. And we are working on a couple of those now that are in the kind of finishing stages of, you know, what happened in this place and what was there. And that kind of is ongoing all the time. And of course the post office, you know, will be now a big project to, you know, put the porch on it and some kind of display or something to see what we can do with it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what you do come up with, because I can almost picture standing at what would be a postal window but then seeing some of the history in the background or something. I don't know. I just think it's just an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thrilled that it made its way back home.
Yes.
That's great.
Having it come home in the middle of the night was pretty fun.
Yeah, I saw the pictures in the paper. There's a video, I understand, of the whole move, or
Well, we got a little bit of videotape just with a digital camera.
Oh, okay. 6
or 7 minutes, but it's all in the dark, and it's, you know, not great, but it captured the moment.
I was going to say that it's still chronicled for the rest of history, so you're very fortunate to have that. An important fact about Cornville Historical Society, that the one message that you want to leave with our viewers, do you have one in particular?
Well, we want to attract interest, right?
Yeah.
That's for sure, and make our story known. We've been fairly low key, but the post office is bringing attention,
I'd say,
to us, and we're going to hang a banner on there in the next week or so that helps tell the story that restoration is coming and that we do need funding, and so we hope to get more support. And we do have quite a few volunteers stepping up that say they're willing to swing a hammer and help do the actual work.
Incredible, that's great.
So I think that'll be fun to try to figure out how to harness that energy.
Oh yeah, you guys have your hands full, there's no doubt.
For sure. Linda, she's the president. She has her hands full.
Yeah, I after having been out there, yeah, you have your hands full. We tended to be a challenge, I'm sure.
But we have a great board of directors, and you know, without all of us working together, you know, we wouldn't be able to accomplish what we can with a small group of people, because they all work really hard on projects that they're doing.
And you know, as I mentioned, we've been fortunate enough to meet with some of the members of various historical societies, and it's so impressive to see the work that a small number of people actually put into making this possible, and it's really, really important. And with that, I'll remind everyone that whether you live in Cornville or Cottonwood or Clarkdale, there are historical societies in all of these communities. Camp Verde, Sedona, they're all over. But you don't have to live in one particular community for the history of the entire Verde Valley to be important. So if you have a desire to be involved, contact the ladies with Cornville Historical Society, with any of them, but contact them, see where you fit in, where your interests lie, what projects are going on that you might be able to contribute to. And please remember the gift basket raffle and the other fundraising efforts, and help support the efforts, because preserving our history is preserving our present. Our kids need to know what happened in the Verde Valley. They need to understand all of this, and if we don't try to preserve it, it's not going to be there.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're all about.
Exactly. That's a very big piece of it. Ladies, I sure appreciate your patience and your being here, and we are definitely, we want to keep track of the progress that the Historical Society makes. Please keep us posted on all of your activities. Let us know. We'll make sure, as we remind everybody frequently, many of the activities that go on throughout the entire Verde Valley are posted on myradioplace.com on our events calendar. Please feel free to use that to post your event, to check out other events. Make sure that anything that's going on out there, you get on our calendar so folks will know about it and can help out.
Remember that.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. And we are going to take a break. We want to when we come back, we're going to get in the holiday spirit again. We've got some great holiday sounds and sights of the season, and we'll be back with you in just a few moments.
Hi, I'm Ben Bueller, owner and funeral director at Bueller Funeral Homes. My grandfather once told me, you can serve a family selfishly once, or treat them right and serve that family for generations.
Bueller Funeral Home has been serving Arizona families for 3 generations with affordable and reasonable services. Bueller Funeral Home feels a funeral should be as unique and personal as the individual it honors, whatever your choices, your traditions, or your budget.
2 outs with a runner on first base. Now the big guy comes up to bat, hitting .342 with 92 RBIs and 36 homers.
Chill raw and prepared foods promptly. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.